Happy Wednesday, day 31. We are in Matthew chapter 23, looking at verses 29 through 39. And when we finish these, we are in the last 4 chapters of the Gospel of Matthew. So the pace is picking up. And we get some very harsh words from Jesus again today, directed at religious leaders. It's a gerrymand. It's a righteously angry speech. This is the 8th time in the Gospel of Matthew that Jesus has had harsh things to say to groups, especially to religious leaders. So those who are in positions such as, myself, who believe that the Bible is the Word of God and study it a lot, and have some position in a religious establishment, should not miss that Jesus directs his ire particularly at us. But I just want to be sure that those listening get that Jesus directs a lot of his harshest comments to those who have read the Bible the most, and those who by their own understanding are trying hardest to be religiously true. So we've got to hear that. So I'm reading today Matthew 23, beginning with verse 29. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites. And we hate hypocrites, right? I mean, it's one thing for somebody to just be a jerk. It's another thing for them to tell you not to do something, and then they do exactly that themselves because they somehow think that they are not subject to their own requirements. We see this with politicians, and oh, does it set us off when we see it. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites. You build tombs for the prophets and decorate the graves of the righteous. There's some historical suggestion that Herod, who was the king of the Jews and the great builder, was having all the graves of the previous Jews sort of cleaned up and building nice cemeteries for them. So you testify against yourself. You testify against yourselves that you are the descendants of those who murdered the prophets. Go ahead then and complete what your ancestors have started. So they have said earlier in Matthew that if we had lived in the days of our ancestors, we would not have been with those who were persecuting the ancestors. So Jesus acknowledges that. You say that if you were alive back then, you would not have participated with everybody else in doing what they did. So Jesus is shifting his focus here. We, if we are Christians, get to think of Jesus as our defense attorney. Like we're told in Hebrews that he lives to make intercession for us, and he is our high priest, right? He stands between God and us, and he defends us. And so he is our defense attorney. But here, he's a little bit more of a prosecuting attorney. Verse 33, you snakes, he says, you brood of vipers, how will you escape being condemned to hell? Therefore, I am sending you prophets and sages and teachers. Some of them you will kill and crucify. So let's not miss, Jesus is about to be crucified, right? We're in the final sprint towards the cross here. So he says, I'm sending prophets and priests to you, you vile group of snakes and vipers. No doubt, some of them you will kill or crucify. Others you will flog in your synagogues and pursue from town to town. And so upon you will come all the righteous blood that has been shed on earth, from the blood of righteous Abel to the blood of Zechariah, son of Berechiah, whom you murdered between the temple and the altar. Truly, I tell you, all this will come on this generation. So he's letting them have it, right? For saying, you are hypocrites. You are religiously smug and proud. You are on the wrong side of this issue, and you're self-referential and self-important. And then he gives this little woe. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who kill the prophets and stone those sent to you. How often I have longed to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, and you were not willing. Look, your house is left to you desolate. So he's referring to the temple, and the temple is going to be desolate. And he, of course, is going to replace the temple. The temple was the place where God and man met on earth. And the building temple is about to be destroyed, and Jesus is the new temple. He is the place where God and man meet on earth. He is the place you go to have forgiveness of sins. He is the place that you go to pray. He is the one, right? He is the new temple. So the art I selected is a 19th century wood carving by Beckman. Shows Jesus surrounded by his disciples. Got to think it's John to Jesus's left, lower right-hand corner of the picture. John is significantly younger than all the other apostles. So the Pharisees are the ones that are holding the scrolls, and in the background, they're the ones, of course, on the wrong side of history. They are being lectured. So your Lenten assignment for today is to figure out some way in which you are playing the hypocrite. Right? Now, your defense mechanisms are going to kick in because we do not think we're hypocrites. You might need help. Let me suggest, if you're married, there might be somebody that could help point out your hypocrisy. If you got children, there's maybe a number of people that could point out your hypocrisy. Friends could perhaps point out your hypocrisy. We don't see ourselves very well. But we need to own this. We need to hear some of the sting of these words. We should not be hypocrites. We should focus on the one who is going to die in our place. Have a good day.